Hello ladies and gents, I am Diffin, and welcome back to From the Depths Ashes of the Empire Community Edition. In this episode, I am going to be utilising several new designs. However, I am hoping that we're going to be able to afford them, since we've been having a little bit of material problems recently. So I have gone for some slightly cheaper designs, though with these we're going to probably be spawning in a couple of them in our forces, which will make our forces quite large. Does mean that they may be prone to more casualties, but due to friendly fire. Still, let us see how we go. So first up we have the Ashes of the Empire Lehman Russ Punisher Tank by Damad Doc, another Warhammer 40k design in From the Depths. So this has the very high rate of fire Gatling Punisher cannon, one of the las cannons, and some heavy bolters at the side. So let's send this against one of the Taipans, just see how well it performs there. Okay, it doesn't seem to want to be firing its main gun yet. You're gonna fire? Maybe isn't loaded. Right, just gonna give it a moment to load up, and then we'll try it again. Okay, the gun is now loaded with a lot of shells, so let's now send it against the Taipan to see how it performs. And there we go. A fairly high rate of fire gun there, with fragmentation rounds causing a lot of damage to the hull there. Good consistent damage of fragmentation warheads as per usual. Now, it seems to be nicely resilient, as we have found from the other Lehman Russ designs. Shield there, giving it a very good protection in the direction that it is facing. Though it will probably be a little bit weaker against things like the Onyx Watch, but it is a very good all-round vehicle. Excellent, very nice. In a vein of a much lighter vehicle, we have the Burnstar Delong Light Recon Plane by Red the Rage. A 4000k design, so I'll be spawning in a couple of these. And do they have anything, or are they just purely recon? Does look like they are purely recon. That isn't going to be particularly useful for me in the campaign, since I'm not utilising anything which requires sensor systems like this. So, in fact, I might just give these a pass, since they are actually not useful in the campaign I am running, since I am running, well, 99% detection systems, which I find generally work better than the 100%. But in that vein, we do have the Burnstar Doughboy Light Infantry Fighting Vehicle, also by Red the Rage. Let's spawn a couple of these in. See how these guys perform. So it looks like they are mainly armed with a load of simple autocannons. In fact, what I'll do, I'll spawn in 4 of these in place of the light recon plane. So let's send these against Taipan, since I'm not expecting them to be particularly strong, just armed with simple autocannons. But massed up like this, they look like they should be quite interesting. And though they are deciding to ram the target. A nice swarm tactic here is working really rather effectively. Though they are actually being beaten up by the Taipan. Still, the group of them is going to be quite interesting little design there. In fact, no, I will only spawn in a couple, and I will use another one of Red the Rage's designs. That design I am going to be utilising is the Burnstar Mark I land battleship, the Big Stalin. There we go. A much larger tank from the Burnstar faction. This time I do think it is a little bit tougher, so we'll send this against the Nebel. It's getting ready to fire, and that is a very high rate of fire, rapid fire cannon there. Big gauge, doesn't have any fuses though, so let's just remove that and send against something which doesn't have any protection, i.e. the Taipan. There we go. So against something which doesn't have shielding, this is going to prove absolutely horrifically powerful. Very high rate of fire, high explosive warheads there, causing extreme damage to the hull. So the lack of fuses is going to prove a little bit difficult against some of the factions we are fighting at the moment, namely the Steel Empire and the Twin Guard. I unfortunately don't have that many shields, but I'm not too sure how resilient this will be against them. Still, a good vehicle nevertheless. And it's definitely going to be much more potent than the recon plane, which I am unfortunately no longer going to be utilising. In fact, let's just move this into the correct folder so I know where I'm going. Next up we have another vehicle from Rich Dastardly, the Mark 12 2x62mm Spag. We did have one of these Spags before, but it was one of the lower variants, so hopefully this is going to be a lot more resilient. Though the other one was decent resilient, but considering how well I am at murdering anti-aircraft tanks, it didn't survive very long. So in good fashion, let's send it against something Onyx Watchy, because of course, why not, right? Though Onyx Watch often die pretty heavily to these sorts of vehicles. So it's taken a lot of hits of cram already, and there's the very high rate of fire fragmentation rounds just churning through the hull. It's absorbing the cram hits quite handily with all that ERA and heavy armour there. And then the fragmentation rounds are just smashing through the hull, causing extreme damage. The main gun has now been popped, as has the guns from the other side of the tank, due to the extreme penetration of these warheads. And just keeps on and on firing, breaking more and more components of the Onyx Watch craft here. And there we go, it is already defeated, leaving the anti-aircraft tank in very strong working order. And this is going to be incredibly potent against all comers. I'm not entirely sure which force I would like to utilise this in, but it will do well in any of them. As can be seen, it is back up to nice full health and still has all that ERA to protect it against high explosive warheads. A very good design and very good all-round vehicle. And finally we have a vehicle by Judarian, the Tamkius. A 10k design. A bit of an interesting one. So it seems to have simple weapons at the sides there, and then a very large big cannon here, 400mm massive shell. This is very high up, and I am a bit concerned that these wheels are going to get knocked off, though it seems as if it's going to be stable enough that even if it does get knocked off like that, it will still be able to fire that gun with good accuracy. So let's send this against the Nebel. That's a good long range shell, and it does fall a little bit short. Let's see how the next round hits. Next round comes in and strikes the hull, but looks like it hits the shield without causing too much damage to the main vehicle. So it could be something like a heat round or HESH. It's a bit hard to tell if it's just bouncing off the shields. Yeah, I can't really tell if it's bouncing off the shield, so let's send it against something unshielded. We'll just send it against Taipan because that is easy enough to identify what it's being hit by. No, and I got killed. Okay. I think it's a heat round. I could just, check the tank. That would probably make the easiest solution. You know, that's kind of cheating, isn't it? But still, let's find out what the shell actually is. So axis intakes, it is a shape charge. So it is a heat round. That'll be good against basically everything. Since if it hits it, it can detonate all the internal ammo stores. Doing some fancy maneuvers at the moment, but it isn't actually being able to kill its target. But that looks really weird. I kind of want to make a vehicle do that on purpose. Okay, and then got hit at the top and everything got detonated when being struck by a heat round. But that's why I believe this heat round of this tank will do very well, since the one on the Taipan is a lot smaller and it was able to detonate the entire gun like that. They have very great potential, heat rounds. They can do a ton of damage, or they can just pass basically straight through the craft and do absolutely nothing. Ah yes, we're being attacked by the Twin Guard to start with. But let's have a look at which force I would like to add everything into. So the Steel Empire force is doing quite strongly there. Twin Guard force has lots of vehicles. The Onyx Watch one is probably the weakest one at the moment, and that's where I'm going to be adding in the new forces. So let's dash over to here and add in the new designs. It's true that they aren't made exactly designed for taking on with the Onyx Watch, but they will do very nicely nevertheless. The light infantry fighting vehicles will do extremely well in absorbing the hits. Then Big Starler needs things which don't have shields. I tested the Spag against the Onyx Watch and it performed absolutely fantastically. And then the heat rounds of the Tamicus and the Lehman Russ Punisher are both very good against unshielded targets, of which the Onyx Watch has minimal shielding. So let's just put them all together into a force. Pull all and repair all. And also make sure all the material groups are the same. I don't want to be having any problems like that again. So this logistics bot wants to get absolutely everything up, and also all the fuel, and head over to this force here. They're going to try and retreat away from the 20th Army and allow the logistics robots to get over to them. Steel Empire force is advancing against the air wing there. So let's go have a look at this combat with the Twin Guard and see how they do there. We're not actually facing that many. We are facing a few little drones, but hopefully our laser craft in these will be able to deal with them in very short order. So let us find out how we perform. So the enemy is lined up in the target range. We have a flak cannon and a few laser craft, which will soon be able to take out these little drones in very quick order. So let us begin. I know I mentioned the flak cannon, though it really is more the hit scan laser weaponry which is going to be the primary components of this battle. And as you immediately see, the nice purple laser from Richard Dastley's one doing a lot of damage, but it's in fact Tostov's the slightly pale blue one, which is probably the most potent laser in this little bout. My flak cannon just gets completely disabled, it gets struck by a load of shots and vents its shells right out of the gun there. Load of missiles going up into trying to follow the drones, and we're having a bit of a pile-up of all the tanks trying to fly and, well, move after these drones there, and, well, there is no collision detection between vehicles, so yeah, just doing a ton of damage to each other. And probably a lot more than anything that the enemy has already done. Including that venting there. That venting, I believe, was caused by friendly fire, either a laser or one of our many APS weapons. But thankfully, the enemy is also taking a lot of damage. They're taking strike after strike, and then that laser is just coring through the hole there. And it's probably aiming for the AI, but it's doing a very good job at disabling and breaking all the actual weapon systems as well, which is just good all round, reducing the amount of damage I am receiving from the enemy. A few of the components there are all disabled, which is all very nice, and just looking around, seeing how well we're doing. Generally, just lost a little bit of health across the board, but it is mainly those collisions and that which I think we've done to ourselves. Just seeing how the flat cannon is doing, but essentially it didn't do very much at all. And now we're just into the home stretch. So we've sped the video up a little bit more, just trying to watch as wait for these drones to be destroyed. Thankfully, they didn't go into too bad a death spiral, so all our vehicles were able to destroy them nice and easily. Nasty collision there, and as can be seen, the amount of damage we do to ourselves when we crash into each other is very significant, and a problem which is going to be plaguing us in the future, I'm sure. There we go, victory! It looked like a few of the vehicles did crash at the start, though I thought everything looked like it was nicely spaced apart, so it's quite irritating, I must say. We just need to spread things out a little bit more by default as well, and just to make sure they're facing in different directions, because I think they were nicely spread apart, but they all went in exactly the same direction, just crashed straight into each other, because turning isn't exactly great on a lot of vehicles, or basically anything in From the Depths utilising the default AI, since it is a little bit thick. Though I want to take out this force, which is going to currently try to take out our radar satellites, which would be very, very annoying if it does come to pass. So there we go, the combined force is now ready to take that on. And now let's get this all repaired up. So you don't want any of those materials or anything, so you're just going to get everything nicely repaired up there. The enemy is all in the water, which is going to be very irritating actually. You attack that target there, and get them out of the way. So I don't think this is going to take that long. The enemy is at long range, but we have some nice power lasers, and so she'll be able to take them out rather quickly at the long range. They're really far away though. Okay, let's just see how things are going. Yeah, the battle is very, very far away, so it's mainly going to be the hit scan laser weaponry which is going to be causing the primary damage output at the start of this battle. As you've seen, lasers striking immediately, making little bits of confetti fly out. And straight away, the base of that mech has already been AI deaded, which is brilliant, because that means the hull is going to go down, not be able to aim this properly, and also, much more importantly, not be able to be repaired. These other repair drones being struck as well, being hit by the lasers, being destabilised, and then the APS weaponry is able to strike it down and make them fall out of the sky in very, very quick order. One thing though which I did miss, and I still have not been able to spot, is the death of the cheese. At some point in the battle, the cheese design, it is defeated. And I expected it's either by friendly fire or collision damage, but it seemed very resilient to either of those. But regardless, the cheese has been defeated at some point in this battle. And we're just waiting for the enemy to be disintegrated. And there we go. Though, we lost the cheese. I don't even know how we lost the cheese. It must have just been on friendly fire and crashing or something. But I didn't even think we did that much. Everything is pretty high health, so sorry, but the cheese is defeated. Somehow. So Still Empire Force is ready to take out this wing, so let's go attack them. They can attack this tile as well. We'll be constantly trying to expand our forces out, take out as many enemy as possible. Right, this battle could be very dangerous. We are facing 3 Polaris, and the design has been patched recently, so it should not be killing itself instantaneously, though there is a chance it may still blow up. Yeah, it might still blow up. One of these might still blow up upon collision, particularly this one. Since this one is underground, it's likely to be launched up into the air and crash into its own nuke. So, we'll see how they perform. Yes, I am very concerned about these Polaris because I know that they've been repaired, the design, and they're ejector nukes, and we've seen firsthand how powerful ejector nukes are. So there's one being detonated there, launching up and firing its new huge array of shots into the sky. However, one did get through and is heading straight towards my forces. I'm very concerned. I have a quick look at the health and notice, yeah, everything's doing quite healthily. And there we go, the nuke goes straight towards the boombox. It does fire though, launching itself up as the nuke actually detonates, making it fling up into the sky, making it avoid the majority of those ejected rounds there. So, although extremely critically damaged, it is not dead yet, though it is exposing its high explosive and highly volatile internals to enemy fire, and its AI is currently disabled. Our vehicle's doing a ton of collision to each other, causing essentially more and more damage. You see there, quite a bit of damage across the board, which is not very good. Enemy tanks are just sitting very stably, doing a ton of damage. The Polaris just looks great. Very, very nice design, but Hadron's also doing significant damage. And see there, an internal detonation in our tank there. Probably, I believe, from the Hadron's simple lasers, looking at them there. Though, this was the tank we did observe, it did actually seem to explode a lot, but just survived it. The microcopter from north there, unfortunately, also dead, but not completely dead. It's been disabled, but not dead. The boombox, though, is going right down to 55%, and unfortunately, it is just beginning to get, I'm hoping it's going to get repaired, but then it takes another massive strike, knocking it way under the 55% margin, so unfortunately, that's dead. Odd positioning with the turret there on that tank, but, you know, builders are very good with spin box, I assume. Again, the Hadrons there doing significant damage, but they have now essentially been disabled, which is all well and good. But it's this one I'm trying to find where the enemy designs are. There's one design which I just haven't been able to locate, so I'm just looking around like, yeah, that one's dead, that one's dead, that one's being destroyed. Oh, that's our tank being killed by our own vehicles. This is the sort of things which I'm trying to observe and see, okay, it's not dead yet, but where are these enemy tanks? Where is the last one? Because I've accounted for all of them except for one. So I'm just watching, okay, this looks like this is the last one. No, wait, there's another one around here. Where is it? So I decided to pull up the map and have a look, and I just cannot see it. So it's either in space or glitched somewhere. So I pull out the detector view to find out where it is. And it is glitched. It's I estimate it's probably glitched about 10 kilometers under the water. And by the time I find it, it is coming up very slowly, floating up slowly at around about 5 kilometers. It's taking ages. Its jets are on, but it's just floating slowly up. And it's annoying. So annoying. This is really infuriating. It's been waiting for it to float up to the surface, because unfortunately it has run out of fuel at the moment. I'm currently trying to aim at it with this particle cannon, but at last it's now damaged in enemy territory. So, eventually victory. So I need to now quickly go back to the AI control of everything and put everything back into its forces. What? Still saying begin battle. Where? Okay. What's going on? Oh, hang on. Pause. This battle is actually running over here. Things don't seem to be working quite right. The game may crash after this battle or during this battle. Something isn't working quite right, it seems. Still, let's watch this battle unfold anyway. So, I was expecting this battle to crash, so I didn't really observe the new designs that much because I was thinking, oh well, that's going to crash. Let's just try and watch how our projectiles strike these vehicles under the water. we aren't going to be able to see much happening with our vehicles. They're going to be moving towards each other, maybe crashing into each other, that sort of thing. Annoyingly, I wasn't able to position them at all at the start of this battle, which means they're in an absolutely horrific position for fighting underwater combatants. They're going to be ramming into each other, causing huge amounts of damage. So I decided that any design which was destroyed in this battle would get resurrected regardless, due to the bug I had of not even knowing it was this battle occurring, because I didn't properly end the previous battle. It just ended and then immediately said begin battle. I wasn't able to pull all or anything, so something was very glitchy going on. Lifesaver in this battle though is those bombers. They are doing absolutely amazing work. It's absolutely perfect for them, in fact. The enemy is stationary because they're in the water, and so they aren't moving around, allowing the cram cannons to hit them directly. And because they're going straight down, it doesn't matter that the water is slowing the cram shell down. It just hits the water, goes straight down onto the hull of those Onyx Watch ships, which is beautiful. Like, the lasers are doing a little bit of damage, but it is primarily those bombers, and I'm so glad they're in this force, because without them we would have suffered so much more damage and casualties to our own forces due to friendly fire and all the ramming, which admittedly is quite significant in this battle already, but without those bombers it would have been such worse. So very, very pleased to have those included in this Onyx Watch force. And hopefully next episode we'll have to look at those other designs in more detail. Right, so that battle finished. Let's make sure I can actually save. Good, the save completed successfully. That means the game hasn't completely glitched out. I was a bit concerned. Now, this force, I am just going to repair everything, because the battle happened without me knowing what was going on. I don't really know, well, I know for a fact that I hadn't deployed things in the correct location, which caused the death of many of the vehicles. And it was mainly, because as you can see, it's mainly the new ones which died. Though there was the assault gun which did die as well. But all of them did do nicely, and particularly those bombers are absolutely fantastic and did such a great job at destroying all of the enemy forces there. Yes, I am going to resurrect the assault gun because I had no chance to even try and put things in the correct location. The boombox died though. That was a shame. Well, it did get hit by the Polaris nuke, but not the one which was travelling under the water for around about 15-20 minutes. Type B took a bit of damage, and one of the microcopters also, unfortunately, died. I'm a bit concerned by the fuel though. We are using fuel at a very, very high rate, which is kind of par for the course at the moment with this lot. Try and keep hold of a little bit more material there, so I can try and get more and more fuel generated at these refineries. So these refineries, they're efficient, but honestly, they aren't generating fuel. I don't think they're generating fuel anywhere near as fast as I require it by all my forces. Okay, the game did crash when I was fighting the Steel Empire over here, which was highly annoying. So I just need to redo what I was doing, which was essentially repairing everything up here. Everything gets free pass because everything was, well, essentially destroyed and repaired, basically because of the bug with all the spawning there. So that's all being repaired. That is fine, no problem there. I am also running very low on materials. Have I rebuilt those? No, I haven't built those up yet. I was about to. Didn't appear to save that, so build. Sorry if I am repeating myself. I'll try and cut out anything which I am duplicating here in post, but I will probably so saying things slightly differently. So sorry if there's a bit of overlap. but they're now being blockaded, so we'll go into this battle. I will save the game again so I won't have to repeat all that over again. Excellent, and we are facing mostly air units in this, so it's going to be a bit irritating. Our forces should be okay since the air units are not actually that strong. So let us begin this battle and immediately set everything to combat mode. Everything is now in combat mode so they can actually fire back against the enemy. I mentioned that because in the actual episode I lost, well, not the episode, the recording data I lost around that 10-15 minutes. I did actually forget to put them in combat mode, so I was essentially waiting for several minutes, about 2-3 minutes, wondering why none of the enemy had even been damaged. I was like, what are my vehicles doing? What's so bad about them? And then I realised they were all off, which was to try and save them when trying to find out that nuke. But, so I turned them on straight away, and, well, look at them, the enemy is almost all dead already. We have a very nice strong force here, and that particle accelerator is absolutely brilliant at taking out drones like this. Those well, not so much the drones because they hover, but these flyers with the long attack runs, perfect for shooting them down out the sky. And the missiles are pretty good at it as well. It's a very nice, all-round, good anti-air for this force against the Steel Empire. So that's that force defeated nice and readily, and we'll actually save the game again because of the crash I already experienced in that particular battle. There's no real reason for it, it just decided to crash. So you've got as much material as you can get and head straight over towards the Onyx Watch Force, which unfortunately is heavily damaged at the moment. Hopefully I can get the materials over to them in time, though it doesn't look very hopeful, I must say. Come on, get the resources to them. Yes, there we go. Resources are being spread out amongst the forces, so hopefully now the repairs can be effected in a timely fashion before they get into battle. Though, honestly, it's not looking hopeful. They've been blockaded for a long time now, which just leaves Mark 12 and the Starling can be built, but nope, that is not the case. I'm going to have to retreat those immediately once I begin the battle, otherwise they will be destroyed. So for a little bit more unconventional spawning, allowed my vehicles to actually spawn behind them. Doesn't mean they're not necessarily spawned in a perfect manner, but it should allow me to get the damage on them as soon as possible with all these large designs, though I did not notice that they were spawned on top of each other. Whoops. Oh well. Yeah, that was a tad unfortunate there, and we lose the Vectress almost instantaneously as huge chunks of it get blown off. And yeah, we have got two designs which didn't make it in, the Spag and the Stalin there, which is annoying, and so I do want to try and showcase the designs more in the next episode, much like I mentioned earlier on in this episode. But speaking of this, the Gatling Crampage took a huge hit there of cram cannons, and so it is very much disabled, as is that flyer there. I have a look to see why. It does seem to have fuel, I don't know why it's been disabled, and this is concerning. We're down several vehicles already. The Gatling Crampage has taken a huge number of hits. One of those fantastic bombers has been downed. We're down the Lemanus and one of the missile launchers. So it's at this point I think, right, I've got to try and recover this battle. I need to capture things. These vehicles aren't exactly difficult to capture. This design has also unfortunately been neutered, so I decide, yes, I need to go capture things, and suddenly one is AI dead. So I leap over directly onto it and head straight towards it and manage to grab it without actually having to do anything at all, which is amazing. I pull it out of play, jump onto it, and then head on over towards the next targets. So I'm just looking around, trying to find a good concentration. All the Onyx Watch are very close together and say very easy picking. So I just leap in on a few designs, jump in, smash my way through into the engines, through just like this, and then find my way to the AI around the engine compartment, and that's the case for several of these vehicles. So just jump on, shoot a little bit, load of oil on the screen, because I did actually die at a couple of points in this episode, but I just cut out a lot of this capturing content. But I just wanted to keep a little bit of it in, just to show you basically this is what the majority of the battle was. I need to recover the materials to try and rebuild losses we experienced in that battle with all the enemies under the water. So again, just jump in the vehicle, try and break through to the AI, managed to grab another couple of designs here, but when I try the last one, it unfortunately is destroyed just as I leap onto it. So, no more captured materials there. Right, that was a messy battle. The enemy were pretty tough. So, what did we lose? It looks like we only lost the Vectress missile tank because of my spawn stupidity. But the Vista spawn did work out well. We ended up capturing quite a lot of enemy forces, which will be great for the material. So it's another 15k a pop there, which is absolutely vital for the survival of my forces. 15k does not seem much, because even the smallest of the lightning hoods were that sort of value, so I kind of feel like maybe I should have kept the lightning hoods even more alive than I have been. Maybe just kept them for capturing. Still, that is more of a exploity method, and well, if I'm going to that sort of depths of exploits, I might as well just shoot materials in. Still, not going to be doing that, and just going to get everything else repaired up. Right, Steel Empire Force is getting ready. So they're low on fuel, but we are still okay at the moment in terms of fuel for this battle. Let's just try and organise everything up a little bit before I get ready into combat, so I don't accidentally have a mistake. So we're facing another Polaris and a few Hadrons, and what looks like is a Scarab. Yeah, this could be a pretty messy battle. Right, I'm most interested in seeing where that nuke goes though. So let us begin. Yep, that ejector nuke is pretty scary, but for some reason it hasn't launched towards my forces, and it looks like it just gets instantly detonated. I'm not entirely sure what hit it, or if it detonated on itself, or what have you. But yes, though, you can see there why they're so deadly. That massive, massive array of explosive shells could just completely annihilate the majority of your force. Thankfully, it misses absolutely everything somehow, but there we go. What I am a bit concerned about is the nasty hit the Tostov's particle accelerator tank took there, losing one of its entire guns. And I'm just looking, okay, I'm actually using a lot of my materials and fuel up here. This is going to be a problem. I haven't got enough materials to really afford combat refueling. I haven't really got enough fueling to, well, reduce the amount of repairs I take. So it's a bit of a problem. And there, the Type is doing an admirable job at trying to repair it, but in fact it contributes quite heavily to knocking off the other turret. So now that design is completely neutered. Thankfully, a lot of the enemy Steel Empire designs have also neutered, and so not too damaging towards me, which is a blessing indeed. But unfortunately, the Hadrons do not care about all the shielding I have, which is about to be turned off anyway due to the shortages in actual fuel there. Designs are doing a good job at trying to surround the enemy. The Red Rager's design there is moving right behind the enemy tanks there, doing a good job at hitting them from other directions, causing some nice internal explosions there on the designs, which is very, very nice. Fortunately, it isn't AI dead, so I was hoping it would get nicely captured. So look, see, okay, is the scout tank going to fire? Is it going to fire? Is it going to fire? And no, it doesn't. And the enemy is now AI dead. When I checked earlier, it wasn't, so whatever. And now we have run out of fuel. You can see that none of the shields are online. I quickly have a look at, okay, trying to get things repaired, things upside down, things are going from bad to worse, but thankfully the enemy has been all but defeated at this point. There's a couple of designs still alive. They've got very minimal weapon systems, but I am now out of fuel completely in this force, which is a problem because my refueling is pretty slow. Refineries are working at full capacity, but they're still not being able to cope with the vast amount of fuel guzzlers we have throughout our entire empire. For example, the laser wall and 3 entire combat forces. So it's going to be a big problem in coming episodes. Right, so that battle went alright. Big problem though, we're running very, very low on materials and fuel. We ran out of fuel during that battle and our materials are exceptionally low. Also, in this episode, I unfortunately didn't get to showcase the new designs off particularly well because the first battle, well, the enemy were underwater and had the glitch spawn, and then also a load got smashed up this time during that, and then they didn't have a chance to repair, so that was very, very annoying. Because otherwise we're going to have a massive shortage and we're essentially just going to lose our forces because we can't repair them between battles. We'll have to start scrapping designs just in order to effect repairs, which is not the way I want to go really, but I will do it if I have to. The laser emplacement is being attacked and we don't have that much material, much fuel. Well, I'll do the fight, but we're in a dangerous zone at the moment. Okay, so everything is now being attacked. So the pipeline is being attacked, the Benny Blade force is also being attacked, and Wing Guard, well, the Lightning Hoods over here are attacking as well. So I'll do this fight and then we'll end the episode. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to head out towards Lightning Hoods so that I might be able to capture some of them as they get AI deaded by all the lasers. So yeah, I did think I should have really probably skipped this battle entirely, but I just wanted to show you just what I try and do when trying to go against the Lightning Hoods, trying to do a load of capturing. So the laser wall is really good at killing things, so I try and head towards them, but essentially they're all dead before I reach it. One gets AI deaded, I managed to grab that, but I head towards the other one, but that despawns before I reach it. We managed to capture one of the vehicles, which was worth 27k, so that's like worth, well, basically as much as a couple of the Onyx Watch vehicles, so very, very useful. Still, that's it for this episode, so thank you very much for watching this episode of From the Depths, Ashes of the Empire Community Edition with myself and Adiffin. If you did enjoy the episode, please leave a like and or comment below, as this is always great to hear from you lot. Also, be sure to check out the rest of my channel for more From the Depths videos and other games, and be sure to swing by the Discord channel for more direct interactive chatting. Otherwise, that's it for me for now, and I shall see you next time. But until then, I'm out. Goodbye!